I'm going to describe a Japanese horror movie called As the Gods Will today. Beware of spoilers. Take care and be vigilant. Three students, Shun, Amaya, and Ichika, are visible at the opening of the film as a voice in the distance bemoans his tedious and uninteresting life to God. The students in the high school classroom are being compelled to play a game by a doll dubbed Daruma doll in the next scenario, which features Shun and his classmates. The game is called Daruma-san ga Karonda, and an ugly Daruma doll with just a head is displayed in front of the kids on a desk. The doll spins around after he sings, and if he sees someone moving, he kills them and converts them into red marbles. The remaining pupils begin to worry since they don't know the rules of the game and could end up joining their deceased colleagues. Their number gradually starts to decline. When two of the boys try to open the door to leave, they discover that it is locked. They are instantly killed when the doll notices them moving. A boy with spectacles appears out of nowhere and walks over to read the doll's note on the back. If they hit the button, the notification warns that the game will end. As he rushes to hit the button, the doll reverses and kills him. Shun abruptly becomes aware of the timer on the doll's back and understands that there isn't much time left. When they hear this, several other students try to turn it off, but they all fall short. After all the other pupils have been transformed into red marbles, just Shun and the guy with the glasses are left, making it hard for them to reach the doll without tripping. As time is running short, the gamer devises a plan and instructs Shun to use his back to hop over the corpses and simply press the button. When Shun eventually pushes the button, the game is over. The doll deems Shun the sole winner and murders the boy with glasses as the survivors are enjoying themselves. The scene then jumps back in time to when Shun's life was mundane and typical. He is playing video games while lounging on a couch and switching channels when the game is over. He is strolling to school with his gaming buddy when Ichika beams at him, prompting his pal to advise that he ask her out. Another student in the school who enjoys playing video games is Ichika. Shun responds that he merely views her as a friend and has no affections for her. When they see a boy being assaulted by Amaya, the school bully, they both turn towards the classroom. Shun dozes off in the classroom before being startled by a loud noise. His teacher's head blows up right then, and the Daruma doll materializes. From this point forward, the movie's opening events proceed. Shun now begins to ask God to let him go back to his dull life. Shun is described by the Daruma doll as a mouse, and it warns him that a cat is on the way to get him. Ichika Akimoto, meanwhile, enters Shun's classroom and is appalled by what she sees. She replies that she is just as perplexed as he is when Shun asks her whether she understands what is going on. There is no signal when they attempt to phone the police. They then attempt to leave the building, but none of the doors or exits are open. The two then flee the area and head for the basketball court, where they are startled to see some kids dressed as mice and still alive after the Daruma doll attack. The phrase, "fit the cat's bell for it to cease," can be seen when they turn to stare at the floor. They are then instructed to put on the mice costumes by the school president. Just suddenly, the court's floor creaks open, revealing a huge plastic cat hidden beneath. Everyone becomes terrified as the large cat begins to devour the students one by one. Shun notices the timer-equipped bell that resembles a ball. He rapidly explains to everyone that in order to win the game, the bell must be put on the cat's neck after being passed through the hoop. A skilled basketball player among the pupils attempts to shoot the bell, but the cat manages to catch it and returns it at the student, killing him instantly. Shun, who appears to be brilliant, realizes right away that the cat is only murdering those who are dressed as mice. He then makes the suggestion that everyone take off their costumes, and everyone does so. The cat waits about for a while before devouring another one as the students begin to celebrate. Ichika stumbles to the ground amid the commotion as the students begin to yell and run once more. Shun instantly dons the mouse costume and begins to divert the cat's attention. He understands that the suit allows one to hear the cat's speech. The poor cat was only asking for a back scratch so it could go to sleep peacefully the entire time. Shun soon rolls onto its back and begins to itch the animal. The cat eventually nods off after hearing him instruct the others to join him. As soon as the cat falls asleep, Shun picks up the bell and starts tossing it over the hoop. However, the other pupils stop him because they believe that the winner would be the only one who rings the bell. They all eventually start arguing with one another. The cat awakens as they are battling and begins attacking the students once more. Once more, Shun devises a scheme. He brings Ichika inside and tricks the cat by hiding the bell inside an ordinary basketball. The bell rings as they throw the ball and get ready to celebrate, but just then, Amaya runs on the scene and valiantly scores the goal to end the game. The cat then claims that the only people who can live are Shun, Ichika, and Amaya. Before Shun can get an answer to his question concerning what would happen to the losers, Amaya kills the remaining pupils. Then Amaya continues, God's will is that only the strongest will endure. Shun is approached by Amaya, who informs him that the two of them have what it takes to survive, making them similar. Ichika, on the other hand, is of the opposite opinion and asserts that Shun is more intelligent, stronger, and kind than Amaya. Amaya becomes enraged upon hearing this and tries to assault the cat, but the cat responds by releasing a gas from its mouth, which knocks them all out. The following scene shows a news channel reporting on the incidents taking place near the schools as a terrorist strike. According to a different news account, enormous cubes are hovering above cities, and despite numerous tries, the defense and police departments have not yet discovered a way inside. The fact that the survivors of the catastrophe made it out alive further confirms their status as God's offspring. The occurrence was described as an alien invasion of humanity by some media representatives, interviewers, and a university lecturer. Then, we witness a homeless person touching a broken radio to make repairs. Later, in one of the cubes, Shun awakens. He discovers his boyhood friend Takumi among the survivors, along with the timid and bashful female Tiara and the cocky but sharp student Tauka. Tiara, a shy girl, and Tauka, a cocky yet smart student. Shun is dissatisfied to discover that he is once again participating in the death game. When he tries to leave, he discovers that every door is locked. Then Tauka tells him that the only way to get out of the room is to succeed. Additionally, he boasts that his intelligence will help him win. They learn they must locate the keys to escape via a screen. 4 wooden dolls suddenly enter the room. They introduce themselves and go over the game's guidelines. Each participant, it is claimed, will have their eyes covered as the dolls sang around them. Within 10 seconds of the song ending, the participant must identify which of the 4 wooden kokeshi floating dolls is behind them. They would die if they were wrong in their guess. But if the kokeshi dolls fail, one of them will detonate, releasing a solution key that will unlock the doors and let the survivors go to the next stage. Tauka, who is confident, goes first, followed by Tiara. But neither of them respond, and they both end up dead. But if the kokeshi dolls fail, one of them will detonate, releasing a solution key that will unlock the doors and let the survivors go to the next stage. Tauka, who is confident, goes first, followed by Tiara. But neither of them respond, and they both end up dead. The dolls then move toward Takumi, but Shun is adamant on going first. He triumphs in the game thanks to his brains, which enabled him to use his phone to identify the differences between their voices. Then he says that while Tiara was playing, he had taped their voices. The dolls explode at the conclusion of the game, leaving a key for Shun to seize. He then follows Takumi out of the room. They observe a man being pursued by a hideous doll outside. The man approaches them and begs for their assistance in saving his life by holding his hand. He says that people who are holding hands are safe from the doll's harm. The doll departs, declaring that he is envious of people who have close friendships when they chose to assist him. Shun enters a flashback as she examines Takumi's pendant. Takumi is about to jump to her death from a rooftop when she notices Shun venting his rage by slamming mugs and glasses against a wall. Takumi starts breaking the dinnerware after Shun suggests she do the same, which helps her feel better. She is currently sporting the cup handle Shun had offered her. They abruptly hear a girl screaming on the other side. When they get close to the cry, they see Ichika fleeing the same terrifying doll. Immediately, Shun leaps to grab her hand and saves her. Immediately after, a wall begins to crumble, exposing a doll's face with 7 of the key entries. When Shun and his group arrive, there are already 2 candidates waiting. When they count their keys, they discover that 3 are still missing. When just 7 of them can advance to the following round, Amaya then arrives on the scene with the remaining keys and kills his partner. When all 7 locks are opened, the doll face declares the winners and begins to erode away at the wall, creating a structure that resembles a corridor. A voice then instructs them to continue the sequence by donning the accompanying outfits. Here, it is revealed that every game is shown on television across the nation. The gang then finds itself in a room that is completely frozen. A big polar bear enters and greets everyone. He makes the comment that he despises Blackheart and liars. The only requirement for the game is that the participants state the truth. They will perish if this isn't done. He starts the game by asking each person what their favorite dish is. The bear thinks someone of lying when they respond. The participants have 2 minutes from the bear to present the liar. At first, they all defend their responses, but subsequently, they all point to the one who provided Parsley's response. He is then quickly trampled to death by the bear. The bear follows up with a second query, do you like Shun? Takumi and every other person who knows Shun responds, yes, whereas those who don't respond, no. The bear again asks the other players to identify the liar since he still thinks one of them is lying to him. Takumi is branded the liar by all of the participants because Shun and Takumi haven't spoken in a while. Takumi is slain despite Shun's greatest efforts to save her. Shun cries that the white bear himself is the liar and traitor among them, distraught over the death of his friend. The bear sheds his white coat and reveals his natural color to be black, proving that it was true. The game concludes when all of the faucets are exposed, and the survivors are then brought to the final game. The 5 participants who are left are brought to a temple. 3 wooden dolls greet them as soon as the door opens and give them praise for getting thus far. The 3 dolls describe themselves as being intelligent, creative, and fit. Kick the can for it to finish is the name of the last game, they disclose. The demon will be one of the participants, while the others will be the victims. The victims will have time to hide while the demon moves the can to its intended location. The demon will then need to track down each victim. After seeing their faces, he must give them names before he can place them in the prisons. In this sense, he will come out on top if he jails them all and kicks the can. The other victims will be deemed the winners and the devil will lose if one victim manages to kick the can. However, the victim who kicks the can will perish as a result of the explosion. Then, each of the 5 chooses a stick, with the demon selecting the red stick. Amaya takes hold of the red stick. He drops the can fast to the ground and immediately begins looking for the others. 2 of the pupils are swiftly apprehended. Then Ichika makes a selfless effort to divert Amaya so that Shun can flee. Amaya exclaims that he doesn't need to find Shun to win the game after imprisoning Ichika. In addition, despite Ichika's advice to hide, Shun emerges in an armored suit that covers his face. Then, Shun informs Amaya that because his face is concealed, it is impossible for him to be discovered. This infuriates Amaya, who swiftly removes Shun's helmet. Amaya learns that Shun has a chain of iron around him as he kicks the can to terminate the game. Shun then dives into the sea and pulls Amaya after him. Amaya notices that Shun has taken off the armor and is making a slow progress toward the can as he fights to extricate him from the water. Suddenly, Amaya is able to escape, but Shun kicks the can before he can reach it. Even though they are ready for the explosion, nothing happens. The dolls pronounce everyone the winner, aside from Amaya, when the game is eventually done. They also admit that the explosion was a fabrication to keep the game exciting. The doll is subsequently grabbed by a furious Amaya, who claims that the doll shouldn't perish because God picked it. No one was intended to pass away, the dolls begin to giggle. Fireworks in the sky are then used to celebrate the winners. To commemorate their accomplishment, the dolls also give out some ice cream. Shun ultimately asks Ichika out on a date to the movies while he is enjoying the ice cream and admits his emotions for her. Ichika nods approvingly, but when their ice cream melts, they notice writing on the sticks. The dolls then confess that despite having come this far, they still require luck to survive. While the other 3 people, including Ichika, find the words, "You die," Amaya and Shun notice the words, "You live," on their sticks. The losers are then killed by a doll while Shun stares in despair as Ichika vanishes into thin air. Finally, Shun and Amaya come out of the cube to the cheers of the crowd. They are being referred to as God's offspring. Shun declares, there is no God, in desperation after all of his losses as Amaya beams with joy. He is corrected by one of the dolls, who asserts that God is real. The homeless man from the beginning of the film is revealed to be God as it comes to a close. To support the channel, switch on notifications, subscribe for more content like this, and leave a like. I appreciate your attention.